I will try to be brief. We have a distinguished panel of witnesses that I would like to hear from today. I think this is a timely subject. I have many questions, and I hope to get educated today. Why student debt? Why not credit card debt? Why not automobile loan debt? Why not mortgage debt if we're going to forgive debt? How do we be fair to all Americans? What role, if any, did our universities play in the accumulation of all of this student debt? I'm not sure that this is the right place to address education policy, but if anybody knows the answer, I would like to know why some college textbooks cost as much as I paid for my first car. And these are the kind of issues that I hope that we can address today. What are the demographics of the people who owe us who owe student debt? Is there really I'm not suggesting there isn't, I don't know. Is there a racial gap? How equitable is it to ask taxpayers who haven't gone to college to pay for those who have gone to college? These are the kind of issues that I hope we can address today. And as I say, my mind is open and I'm looking forward to hearing the answers. And with that, I will turn it back over to our distinguished chair, with whom I have worked closely setting up this hearing, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Dr. Akers, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I want to understand the context. The money that our students borrowed, were they defrauded?
Well, some in fact were, and we have, for the most part, have made those students whole through debt forgiveness that's specific to their circumstances.
What about the majority of them?
The majority of them have not. I think the farthest you could go to say is that we've made the process complex so that there might be challenges for them to actually understand the obligation that they're taking on, but they were fully aware of the obligation that they were accepting.
Okay. Mr. Raimondi, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can, Senator.
Let me just say for the record, I hate virtual hearings. It's not Senator our chair's fault. That's not her fault, but I just hate them. I think they're very inefficient. Let me try to understand the context. You don't make these loans. Is that right, Mr. Raimondi?
That's correct.
The government makes these loans. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And where does the government get the money?
Borrows it from the U.S. Treasury Department.
Okay. When the government loans this money, are the majority of them honest loans, or have the students been defrauded?
Well, I think, as Dr. Akers said, the majority, I would agree, the majority have been for the right purpose. There were some shady schools out there, and for the most part, those have been closed and those loans forgiven.
Okay. Have you ever borrowed money before?
Yes, I have.
Did you pay it back?
Yes, I did.
Would it be fair to say, why did you pay it back?
Well, for example, I took out student loans when I was in college, and that college degree afforded me an opportunity to get a good job. I went to a
right, but why did you pay the money back?
Because I had an obligation to pay it back, Senator. I had signed the promissory note, and I had an obligation to pay it back.
Did you consider it a moral principle? A moral obligation?
Moral and legal, yes.
Okay. Now, let me give you a chance to respond to. I know that you've been sued in a number of instances. Is there anything else you wanted to say in defense of your position on those lawsuits?
Yes, thank you. The programs, I think, as you've heard from a number of the witnesses here today, are extremely complex, and the rules and regulations associated with them are complex. It's difficult for borrowers to understand why one loan is eligible for a certain program and why another loan isn't eligible for a program. We try to help borrowers through that process, and we try to help explain it. And
let me stop you, Mr. Ramondi. Let me stop you for a minute. So why don't we write simpler rules?
That's a great question. I think the programs and my recommendations in my oral testimony here was that we do need to make them more simple. Today, there are 60 different repayment options available to borrowers, 9 different income-driven repayment plans, all with complicated, as you can imagine, government-sounding acronyms that make it very difficult for borrowers to understand.
Okay.
And we think worse
amongst well, it would seem to me that might be one thing that our subcommittee could work on is designing a student loan application process that looks like somebody designed the damn thing on purpose. I mean, these are supposed to be our best and our brightest who are borrowing the money. If they can't understand it, who the hell can? Let me move on, though. Dr. Baker, did I understand? Do you think the student loan program and the way we administer it is systemically racist? Is that what I understood you to say?
I was explaining the ways that a systemically racist society has made it so that people of color, especially Black people, rely on student loans at a higher rate than other people.
Do you think America is systemically racist?
Do I think that the American society has systemic racism? Yes.
Okay. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Broadly speaking, it means that we have sort of set up pathways in our society where different people have different opportunities and options that are before them. So as an example, it would mean that potentially one person in the world has 5 different options. They can go to college. They can take an inheritance from their family and start a business. They have all these sorts of different sets of options. What systemic racism does.
Yes, ma'am. Just give me, if you could, just give me your definition because I'm gonna run out of time here.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that, professors. So basically, systemic racism says that we have set up pathways so certain people of certain races get more opportunities and more benefits than other people do.
Okay. Do you think SMU is a systemically racist institution?
Do I think that SMU works within a racist society? Yes.
No, but do you think SMU is a systemically racist institution?
Does it have evidence of systemic racism? All universities do. Yes.
Okay. You did your graduate work at Vanderbilt. Do you think it's a systemically racist institution?
All universities work within a systemically racist society.
Okay. Yeah, but yes. I'm trying to understand. Mm-hmm. I understand your comment about America being systemically racist, but we have different institutions in America. So let me ask it more directly. Is SMU a systemically racist institution?
There is systemic racism at SMU and at all other institutions.
So you think every university is systemically racist?
I think that everyone who operates within the United States operates within a systemically racist system.
Okay. How do you, if we forgive all this student loan debt, how do you think we should pay for it?
I think there are several options on the table around potential increases for different taxes.
No, I'm asking you how you think we ought to pay for it.
Sure. I would say that that's not my area of expertise.
You don't have any, you just want us to forgive it and not worry about paying it back?
I would say that as an education policy expert, I can talk to you about those areas. I think there are a number of plans in place and that there are people on the committee who have talked about potentially raising the taxes on higher wealth individuals. There are options, but that is not my expertise. And you probably
I've gone way over. I I assume that our chair is going to let us have a second round.
Of course, John. There'll be a second
ahead.
round.
No, you go